Good morning, Commissioner Lyle.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner Hellman.
Good morning.
Chair Phillipson.
Morning. Okay, we're expecting everyone today.
We do have 8 members who've indicated they would be here this morning.
Like we have everyone.
Mr. Chair, are you ready for Lynn to start the recording?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Good morning. The Florida Commission on Ethics is now in session for this public session meeting for a legislative update. Ms. Westbury, can you please call the roll?
Commissioner Bain,
Here.
Commissioner Hellman,
Here.
Commissioner Lyle,
Here.
Commissioner Oglesby,
Here.
Commissioner Phillipson,
Here.
Commissioner Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Abby Stewart.
Here.
Commissioner Linda Stewart.
Here.
We have a quorum present.
Thank you. As we do with all our meetings, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioners, if you can please mute your mic unless you are speaking and keep your video on for the duration of the meeting. Also, if you can please silence your cell phones and in your office phones as well, as notifications can be disruptive to the live feed. Pursuant to section 286.0114 of the Florida statutes, members of the public have the opportunity to have input on matters before the commission other than in cases in which we act in a quasi-judiciary capacity. I believe the commission did not receive any email comments from the public on the matter before us today. Is that correct?
That is correct.
However, if you are a member of the public who would like to speak about the matter before us and are joining us from your computer, please raise your hand by clicking the raise hand button on your computer so you can be recognized to speak.
There are no raised hands.
Thank you. At this time, I would ask the commission's Zoom coordinator to allow the public in attendance by phone the opportunity to unmute themselves by pressing *9. If you're a member of the public joining us by phone and would like to speak regarding the legislation in our materials only, please press *9 and state your name so you can be recognized. Ms. Blaze, is there anyone on the phone?
No, there's not.
Okay. All right. We're at the half point of the legislative session, and the commission has a number of bills that have been filed, and there are other bills filed that will have an effect on the Code of Ethics. You were presented a number of bills in your materials for this meeting. There has been legislative action since those materials were generated. So I'll recognize our executive director to update us and then recognize members for questions and discussion of the legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The chair has given us 30 minutes for today's meeting, and I'm determined to give you a full explanation, but live within that 30-minute time frame. So I'll start off with your recommendation regarding whistleblower protections for ethics complainants. There's been a bill filed in the Senate and in the House. Senate Bill 92 was filed by Senator Gates. It creates 112.313 sub 18, which is a standard of conduct that prohibits retaliation against ethics complainants. And it also provides whistleblower remedies to ethics complainants. And the whistleblower piece would reside here at the Commission on Ethics. That particular bill is headed to its last committee next week. And so we've made good progress in the Senate with that, and it seems to be well received. There are 3 amendments that have recently been filed. They are what I would describe as a technical nature, just tweaking some language in there. On the House side, Representative Maney filed House Bill 139. It does not contain the standard of conduct for retaliation, but does contain the whistleblower protections that you recommended. Those whistleblower remedies would be housed within the Florida Commission on Human Relations. And that particular bill passed its first committee this week and is headed to Rules and Ethics, has not yet been scheduled there. Before I move on to the next bill, does anybody have any questions or comments regarding the whistleblower recommendation. Okay, moving on to, well, Senate Bill 1650 is a confidentiality exemption that's been temporarily postponed, but may ride along with those bills. The next one to talk about is Senate Bill 964, filed by Senator Wright, and House Bill 6011, filed by Representative Benaroch. This is your recommendation relating to the Form 10 filing location. It simply clarifies in the law that the Commission on Ethics is now the filing location for all Form 10s. There had been confusion related to that, and should this legislation pass, that will enable us to change the instructions for this paper form to provide clarity as to where that form gets filed. It's in its last committee as rules in the Senate, and in the House also headed to its last committee. Any questions about the Form 10? Okay. Next, we have your recommendation regarding foster families and the definition of relative in the gift law. We had a bill on this last year. Excuse me, we did not have a bill on this last year, but it was a recommendation. This year, this one has really picked up speed. For the Senate bill, it's a committee substitute now. It's passed all referred committees. It went to the floor where there was an amendment. And this is 572. The amendment that was filed creates an exception and seems to appear to resolve the issue that you were working with during the last meeting with the nepotism opinion that wound up in a tie vote and was postponed to the next meeting. The exemption creates an exception for elected officials who are serving on a collegial body together, allows those relatives to appoint, promote, employ, or advance a relative, the relative that is on their board, into a leadership position on that particular board. It also allows them to advocate for such things. That amendment was adopted, and 572 passed the Senate floor and is in House messages at this time. Presumably, the House could assign that and take it up and pass that as amended this session. So that's a change. It puts a change in the nepotism law, but your foster families piece of that puts foster children and foster parents in the definition of relative, giving them equal footing to other relatives. That remains, and that has passed the Senate floor and has had good reception in the House as well and has passed committees there. Any questions regarding 572 and the recent amendment with the exemption?
Commissioner Stewart, Commissioner Linda Stewart.
Thank you. Yes, is there a note in the foster care bill that says when it takes effect?
Thank you. Through the chair, they did change the effective date of that legislation, and it is effective upon becoming law.
Follow up.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you. So then becoming law means when the governor signs it, correct?
Through the chair, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that could be whenever everybody settles out on the bill on both sides, and then it goes. And so whenever he signs it is when it becomes effective.
Right. Assuming this passes the House and the governor signs it into law, when that takes place, that we would then have this new exemption within the nepotism law.
Exactly. So we're on hold as to where we stand as the Ethics Commission on some of those issues.
In terms of the opinion request, which is not scheduled for consideration today, but we do still have a live opinion request that is pending before the commission on this very same issue. Steve and I have been having conversations about this. I'm going to ask Steve to kind of give you the brief update on that.
Again, we're not noticed to talk about the opinion, so I'll keep this very brief. But I've been in discussions with the attorneys that appeared on the opinion, and I'm authorized to say that they intend to file a withdrawal request with the commission so that we don't we don't consider this matter while there's still an open question about how the nepotism law should be resolved in the legislature. So to make way for the legislature, they'll be sending over a withdrawal request. You'll be able to consider that withdrawal at your next meeting. It's my expectation the staff here will support that withdrawal request when it comes, but we'll talk more about that at the next meeting, and that will be in your materials when you get the mail out.
Yeah, I think let's hold at that since we didn't notice that topic today, and leave it at that with regards to that matter. Let's move to the next legislative if anyone else has any questions regarding the foster family bill.
Okay, moving on to your recommendation regarding fine waivers for the first time a financial disclosure filer receives an assessed fine for a late filed report. That has passed in the Senate's Community Affairs and Ethics and Elections. It's set on the Rules Committee agenda for Tuesday. We have a long day in the Rules Committee on Tuesday. I think it's noticed from 12 to 6, and we have a couple of bills on there. 1622 by Rodriguez. We also have House Bill 1369 filed by Representative Antone. That one has not yet been heard in a committee. The representative has made requests to the committee to get it scheduled. We have been in contact with committee staff as well in support of the request that it be heard, and made ourselves available for questions. We will see what happens with that next week. This week is week 5 or week 6. So it's government operations subcommittees. And so whether or not the subcommittee will meet again, I'm not yet sure, but we remain hopeful. Any questions about the first time fine waivers?
Commissioner Stewart?
I'm so sorry. Yes. Have you tried to reach out to Representative Anton's office and asked for the ethics to go with the representative to the chair of the next committee and discuss this bill together? Have you tried that approach to getting it heard?
Through the chair. We have not made that request of the representative. I have been in contact with his office. I can certainly contact them today and see if that's a request they can make. I did contact staff and indicate that we would love to meet with them to discuss it further. They indicated they didn't have any questions for us at this time. Mr. Chair, I think Commissioner Stewart might have a follow-up.
Commissioner Stewart?
I do. I think that you need to bump it up beyond staff because that could drag on for quite a while. So if it's at all possible, and if you need my help, we should get the representative and your staff to go with them to the chair himself and herself. I don't know which it is, but and talk to them directly.
Okay. That will be my first order of business when this meeting concludes.
Commissioner Lyle?
Thank you. And I may not have completely followed the purpose of this interaction with the legislators, but are we going to be expressing opinions about policy?
Through the chair, when it's a commission recommendation and we have a sponsor, we work with the sponsor to try to get the bills heard and get the bills passed. So when we have an issue that comes up where you all have not given direction to your staff or it's not specifically included in your recommendations, we might offer technical expertise or information about that matter, but your staff will not support or oppose something on your behalf unless you have expressly stated so. And usually that only happens through your recommendations.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. The next one relates to the records exemption for Commission on Ethics members and staff. Senator Rodriguez sponsored Senate Bill 1546. We did not have a companion in the House. That bill has not made any progress, but under the other ethics legislation, there was House Bill 21. It's a committee substitute now. It didn't start out this way, but it was amended where it does include agency staff in a records exemption. That does not encompass you. Unfortunately, we will try to work to see if we can get you all included. And if not, we can try again next year, certainly. Again, that one does not have a Senate companion. It's House Bill, committee substitute for House Bill 21. Moving on to some water management district legislation. This, of course, was not considered as a part of your legislative recommendations, but there's always a number of bills that get filed that touch on the work that we do here. So it's important that I bring it up to you. Senate Bill 1120, filed by Senator Broder, has passed all of its committees. And essentially what it will do is it creates a situation where water management district reporting individuals are subject to the expenditure ban. The expenditure ban is something that the commission already has jurisdiction over as it relates to executive branch lobbyists, where no expenditure can be made or accepted in the executive branch. If a person is a Form 1 or Form 6 filer, this would extend it to water management district. It also gives the commission jurisdiction to investigate alleged violations of that expenditure ban. In the House bill, or excuse me, in the House, there are a number of related bills. It looks like House Bill 593 is in its last committee in the House. These bills, if passed, if they become law, are effective July 1st. Any questions about the expenditure ban extension? Okay. Moving on then to referrals from the Department of Financial Services. Senate Bill 1572 relates to the Florida Agency for Fiscal Oversight and indicates that they can refer matters to the commission. That has not moved in the Senate, but in the House, House Bill 1303 puts the same policy in place, and it looks like it is currently in its, let's see, Insurance and Banking Subcommittee. So it's in its first committee there. Any questions about referrals? Okay. Next comes House Bill 1251, filed by Representative Schoaf, expenditure of public funds by local governments. It's passed its first committee. It creates Section 11.063 as the Federalism Protection Act and indicates that no funds could be used to hire outside lobbyists by local governments, and also provides that no expenditure of funds can be made by a local government or local officials that's not specifically itemized in their budget, and it gives the commission jurisdiction to accept complaints on these provisions. There's currently in law 11.062, the commission has authority related to the prohibition on expenditure of public funds by state agencies to hire outside lobbyists. So this would extend that and then go a little bit further for those on the local level. Any questions about that particular bill?
Commissioner Stewart?
Could you get that, could you give me that bill number again? I didn't write it down.
Yes, it is House Bill 1251. It does not have a Senate companion.
That was my second question. Okay, all right, that solves that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Moving on to some legislation related to foreign influence. Committee substitute for Senate Bill 1178 by Ethics and Elections and Senator Grahl. And committee substitute for House Bill 905, the Judiciary Committee and the Government Ops Subcommittee. This would be effective July 1st, and it's in appropriations in the Senate, so that's its last committee, and it's also in its last committee in the House. It creates a prohibition in 112.313 sub 2, which is the solicitation or acceptance of gifts statute, that prohibits a public officer, public employee, local government attorney, or candidate from accepting a thing of value from a designated terrorist organization. And it adds training requirements regarding foreign influence and designated training organizations. It requires the commission to adopt rules regarding adding these provisions to the training rules that we have, and would have to adopt those rules by November 1st of 2026. So it creates a new area of law for the commission to have jurisdiction over, one which we'll have to get up to speed on, and one which you would be able to issue opinions and rule on complaints regarding issue of foreign influence. If it were to pass, it does look like it is moving through both chambers. So it definitely looks viable. Any questions regarding that particular legislation? Okay. House Bill 1221 with the Department of Financial Services. This piece of legislation is effective upon becoming law. It has passed its second committee, and so it has one committee to go. And it relates to the nepotism law and allows an exemption essentially for relatives of firefighters to be employed, promoted, advanced, etc., provided that it is pursuant to a competitive process that is a part of a collective bargaining agreement. So again, an exemption within the nepotism law for narrow circumstances. And it looks like that's just in the House. There is a Senate companion, Senate Bill 1452, but it does not contain this language that references the Code of Ethics. So it remains to be seen what might happen with that. Are there any questions related to that? Before I conclude, I did want to mention, and I didn't mention it when we were talking about it, but the legislation that would give the commission jurisdiction to take complaints regarding matters that expenditures by local government that aren't specifically included in their budget. We do anticipate that if that passes, it could give us an increase in our complaints for that type of prohibition on the local level. I think it's reasonable to anticipate that we could receive a solid number in terms of an increase in complaints that ultimately may result in us needing maybe an additional admin staff and possibly an additional attorney. I think we're kind of at max capacity in terms of intake in the number of complaints that we receive with the number of attorneys and support staff that we currently have for that, given our statutory deadlines for a 30-day review with regard to investigations. or at least ordering investigations.
Ms. Stillman, have you advised committee staff of the financial impact that legislation will have on our commission?
We are preparing that as we speak. We have a drafted analysis to file. We do get requests for bill analyses from House and Senate, and we're working on that.
Seeing that
And
there's,
That concludes it, unless you have any other questions or concerns or guidance that you wish to share.
And 120 seconds to spare.
Commissioner Stewart.
I'll take them. No, what I wanted to say is that I really appreciate all the hard work that Carrie and her staff have done with nursing these important bills through both House and Senate. And I think that this is probably the best that has been accomplished for a number of years, having this many and being able to brag about how far they've gotten. So thank you very much. And I know you have a little bit more to go, but it's nothing compared to what you've already done. So if you need some help, I'm here to help. So just let me know. But you've done a great job, and your staff, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Stewart. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Commissioner Stewart played a vital role in getting sponsors for your legislative recommendations. I don't think we've ever had this number of bills moving, and it's certainly been a challenge in keeping track and staying on them and moving forward. And so we really appreciate her support and leadership on that.
Thank you both for your efforts. Seeing no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this session of the Commission on Ethics.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, signal
Aye.
by raising your hand. Aye.
Aye.
Carries. We are adjourned. Thank you for attending
Thank
today.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.